Have you ever felt like tearing down the life you've built just to start over, quietly, silently, like a monk in the mountains? Good. That means you're onto something powerful. You see, the greatest transformations don't happen under spotlights or on social media. They happen in silence, in solitude, in your own mental dojo. Marcus Aurelius didn't live stream his battles or vlog his meditation sessions. He fought, he reflected, and he rebuilt privately. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. But before we go deeper, don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch till the end. We're building something special here, and your support helps this journey reach more people who need it. Number 1, the myth of public validation. We live in a world where progress isn't real unless it's posted. Got a new job? Post it. Started working out? Post it. Took one cold shower without crying? That's a reel. But here's the thing. Real change doesn't ask for applause. It asks for discipline. When you're constantly looking for validation, you give power to others over your own growth. You become addicted to likes, not results. Stoicism teaches us to be indifferent to praise and criticism alike. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Sanity means tying it to your own actions. Posting your goals before you've achieved them often dilutes your drive. It's like opening the oven every 5 minutes and wondering why the cake isn't rising." Privacy gives you the space to fail without fear, to experiment without judgment, and to rebuild without pressure. It becomes your laboratory of reinvention. Without external noise, you're able to hear your inner voice more clearly. No filters, no hashtags, no algorithms. So start something today and tell no one. Not out of secrecy, but out of strength. Let your results be louder than your updates. And if someone asks where you've been, just say, upgrading in silent mode. Number 2, reinvention requires subtraction, not addition. Reinvention isn't just about adding new habits. Sometimes it's about subtracting the old ones that no longer serve you, like toxic friends, late night scrolling, or thinking you need to respond to every text in under 3 minutes. Reinvention often begins with saying no, and that can feel uncomfortable, especially when people start noticing your absence. Seneca, the master of cutting the unnecessary, once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Reinvention starts when you stop wasting your attention on things that don't move you forward. That means less time explaining yourself and more time building yourself. When you subtract the noise, the distractions, and the outdated versions of who you were, you create space for a more focused, intentional self to emerge. You're not just adding muscle, you're removing the mental fat. You're not just becoming someone new, you're becoming someone real. And yes, people might say, "You've changed." Just smile and reply, "That was the point." Then go back to doing push-ups while reading Epictetus like the Stoic superhero you are. Number 3, solitude is a superpower if you know how to use it. There's a difference between isolation and solitude. One drains you, the other builds you. The Stoics valued time alone, not because they were antisocial, but because they knew that in solitude, clarity is born. It's where distractions die and purpose sharpens like a blade. In private, you get to have honest conversations with yourself. No masks, no performance. Just you, your doubts, your desires, and hopefully a decent cup of coffee. When no one's watching, you're free to be terrible at something. And in being terrible, you learn. In learning, you grow. Reinvention needs this space. The cocoon before the butterfly. The off-season before the comeback. And let's be honest, some of us need that private time just to remember how to be human without refreshing our phones every 6 seconds. The key is to use solitude wisely. Don't just isolate yourself to escape. Use it to evolve. Read, reflect, work, rest, repeat. And remember, lions don't announce their training. They show up and the jungle listens. Number 4, discipline in private builds confidence in public. You want confidence? Don't fake it. Earn it. Not by screaming affirmations in the mirror, but by putting in quiet reps when no one's looking. Confidence is the natural side effect of keeping promises to yourself behind closed doors. That's where the real work happens. The early mornings, the skipped temptations, the uncomfortable truths. Epictetus famously said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." He didn't say, "Announce it to Twitter and hope for motivation." Real discipline is invisible. It's in the decisions you make when there's no audience. And the more you do the hard things in private, the easier it becomes to walk into any room knowing who you are. When you build in private, you arrive in public with proof, not just potential. You don't need to talk big. Your presence speaks. And the best part? No one could take that from you. Because they didn't give it to you. You built it. Alone. Plus, let's face it, confidence isn't built in a comment section. It's built when you do one more push-up than you thought you could, while everyone else is binge-watching Netflix and eating cereal out of a pot. Number 5. Reinventing yourself is a lifelong practice. Here's the truth they don't tell you. Reinvention isn't a one-time event. It's not a New Year's resolution. It's a lifelong process of editing, refining, deleting, and rebuilding. And it's okay if your first version isn't your final one, or your fifth. Life is a draft. Messy, iterative, and full of plot twists. The Stoics believed in the ongoing pursuit of virtue. Not perfection, but progress. Every day is a chance to improve. Even if that means letting go of yesterday's goals because they no longer align with who you are now. Reinvention means updating your internal software regularly. Staying still is just as dangerous as moving in the wrong direction. People may not understand your journey, especially if you're growing silently. Let them talk. While they're trying to figure you out, you're already working on version 3.0 of yourself. Stay mysterious. Stay focused. Stay evolving. And most importantly, be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day, but neither was the Stoic inside you. Keep showing up in silence. One day, they'll ask how you did it, and you'll smile, knowing they never saw you coming. Number 6. Silence kills doubt faster than words do. One of the most underrated weapons in personal growth is silence. Not passive silence, but active, deliberate quietness. The kind that doesn't try to defend, explain, or justify. When you begin reinventing yourself, people will question it. Why are you so quiet lately? You've changed. Are you okay? Here's a revolutionary idea. You don't owe anyone an explanation while you're becoming your next level. In the words of Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say. The less you speak, the more power you hold. Words can be twisted, challenged, or doubted. But silence, especially the kind backed by action, makes people curious and often uncomfortable. That's not your problem. That's their lack of understanding that growth doesn't need a press release. The beauty of building in private is that you don't need to defend your process. Your results will handle the conversation for you. People don't remember the announcements. They remember the transformation, the before and after, the fall and the rise. And the best part? When they realize what you've become, they won't know how you did it. That's the power of silent progress. So the next time someone doubts you, don't argue. Don't clap back. Just keep working. Keep evolving. Keep stacking silent wins. And let your silence scream louder than their noise. Number 7, let failure be your training ground. When you're building yourself privately, you get the greatest gift in the growth journey. Freedom to fail without the world watching. That freedom is priceless. In public, failure becomes content. In private, failure becomes fuel. You're not being judged, mocked, or laughed at. You're just learning. Quietly, deeply, honestly. Think about it. If Marcus Aurelius had an Instagram account, we'd probably only see him journaling in perfect lighting, flexing his imperial robe. But behind the scenes, he was wrestling with rage, ego, and the chaos of being emperor. And that's what made him powerful, his willingness to do the internal work behind the curtains, not in front of an audience. Private failure lets you recalibrate quickly. You can adjust, try again, and rebuild without feeling like the whole world saw you fall on your face. You don't need a recovery PR campaign, just a plan and some peace. You learn to fail forward, not freeze in shame. And over time, that resilience becomes part of your DNA. So embrace those quiet stumbles. Laugh at your missteps. Learn fast. Adjust faster. Because when you eventually show up publicly, you won't be guessing anymore. You'll be ready. Number 8. People can't misinterpret what they don't know. Let's be real. People love to misunderstand you. You say you're working on yourself, and suddenly you're ghosting. You stop partying, and now you're acting brand new. Welcome to the side effects of reinvention. But when you build in private, there's nothing for them to misinterpret. No updates, no status changes, no drama, just results. One of the main Stoic principles is emotional independence, freedom from being tossed around by the opinions of others. When you tell people about your goals or your struggles, you open the door for unsolicited advice, judgment, or worse, discouragement disguised as concern. Are you sure that's going to work? That seems risky. It's exhausting, and it slows you down. Silence solves that problem. No one can shoot down what they don't even know exists. You're not hiding. You're protecting your evolution. It's like growing roots underground. No one sees it, but when the tree finally breaks through the soil, it's unshakable. That's what happens when you stop giving people previews of your process. So stop oversharing. Build quietly. Let people stay confused. The only thing they'll be certain of eventually is that you became someone they didn't see coming. Number 9, the power of saying no without explanation. One of the fastest ways to level up is learning how to say no without guilt and without writing a 5-paragraph essay afterward. No, I'm not going out tonight. No, I'm not taking on that extra task. No, I'm not explaining my no. Reinvention requires boundaries, and boundaries often sound like rejection to people who are used to your compliance. Stoicism teaches us to act according to what's right, not what's popular. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." That quote alone should be printed and taped to your fridge. People won't understand why you're changing. They'll try to make you feel guilty. That's okay. You're not building your new life based on their confusion. When you start saying no, you reclaim your time, your energy, and most importantly, your identity. You stop being a people-pleasing version of yourself and start becoming the person you were meant to be. And yes, it's awkward at first, but so is growth. So is freedom. So is leveling up. So next time you feel pressure to explain your silence or defend your focus, remember this. A solid no is a full sentence. And it's one of the most stoic things you can say. Number 10, don't rush the process. We live in a fast food culture. Everyone wants success by Tuesday, abs by the weekend, and inner peace in one yoga session. But reinvention doesn't work like that. It's not Amazon Prime. It's more like growing a bonsai tree. Slow, meticulous, and often invisible until one day, boom. Mastery. Seneca reminded us that no great thing is created suddenly. That includes you. You're not a TikTok trend. You're not here to go viral. You're here to go deep. That takes time. Private growth teaches you patience. It forces you to detach from instant gratification and embrace the long, boring, beautiful grind. When you're building in silence, you begin to appreciate slow wins. You notice the power of consistency. You become less emotional about setbacks and more focused on systems. It's no longer about feeling motivated. It's about doing what needs to be done, rain or shine, hype or no hype. So don't rush. Stop refreshing the results. Trust the boring. Refine, tweak, evolve. This is not just about reinventing your life. It's about reinventing the way you think about growth. Quietly, intentionally, powerfully. You're not behind. You're just building. And the best part is, no one even sees how dangerous you're about to become. So keep showing up in silence. Because when your time comes, they won't be ready for the person you've built in the dark. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around. We're just getting started. See you soon, quietly leveling up.